Good morning, everybody. First of all, happy September. We made it. We made it through. It is finally September, my favourite time of the year. Welcome to this week's crafty vlog. For those of you that are new, my name is Alex and I live in Yorkshire in the UK, and I obviously have the My Yarny Corner YouTube channel, and I have a website where I sell hand-dyed yarn, knitting patterns, crochet patterns, all sorts of things go into the website, along with my partner Danny, who is just over there. You'll see him on the vlog at some point.
Hello everyone.
We have 5 cats, 1 dog and 1 hamster. We have a lot of animals, and between us we have 6 children. So there are only 2 at home with us full time. But yeah, it is fabulous. Danny's children obviously live with their mum. I've got 3. My eldest has grown up and flown the nest. And I've got 2 young ones left at home. Well, I'm saying young, they are not young. Josh is nearly 18 and Finlay is nearly 14, so they're not young by any means. But welcome to the vlog. Now, first of all, for those of you that are returning, you have a lot to answer for. You left me unattended over the weekend and I was bad. Really, really bad. And I take no responsibility. I was left unattended and I now have quite a few whips on the go, and I think it's all of your fault. Is that not going to work? No? Oh, dear me. My knitting mojo has upped and left. Now, I've been here before, and I'm sure many of you have. From time to time, your mojo just goes. And it was sort of waning a bit over the past couple of weeks, and I knew I was going to lose the mojo. It's happened many times before. The best thing to do in this situation is just to keep silent. Don't go calling for it. It will come back when it's good and ready. So that is what I have decided to do. The more I make a fuss about it, the more it's going to spit its dummy out and stay hidden. So I'm just going to leave it. It'll come back when it's had its little tantrum. But my crojo is well and truly there, and my cross-stitch mojo is well and truly there. So I don't quite know where to start because, like I say, I've been bad over the weekend. Really bad. Crojo. I'm having to lean because the dog is not moving. So I went to Boys for some floss at the weekend. I just needed 1 skein of floss, and I came back with 4 skeins of floss, a new hoop, and a storage box, and this. Try and show you it the right way. Oh my word, could not resist. I'm not really one for the kits with knitting or crochet because I have enough stash that I don't really need a kit. But I really wanted to make this. It's in chunky yarn. It's that velvet type yarn. You know, the fleecy stuff. And I just really liked it. And the thing is, Danny really liked it as well. So I wanted to make it for him. It's called Naomi Dragon, but we'll have to change the name. Danny's wanting some shelves. Danny has a whole gaming setup and it's over there in the corner. He's a big gamer. He loves his PS5 and he's a huge Liverpool fan. I know all of you that have been here a while already know that. He's a massive Liverpool fan and he's got all his Liverpool stuff there. And he wants some shelves. He's got a lot of football trophies that he wants to display. And he wants some shelves putting up, and he said, wouldn't that look really cool when I get my shelves, Alex? And I just thought it absolutely would. So I got it, and I wanted to see, because I don't buy kits, I wanted to see what they would be like for beginners. If a beginner went into a shop and bought this, you can buy these online. I haven't seen this particular one online, but there are a lot of other ones. Or you can buy them in boys. And I wanted to see what they would be like for beginners. And actually, it's quite good. It comes with everything you need. The stuffing, the yarn, the crochet hooks, everything you need. I have started it. It's still in flat pack form at the moment. I've got the head done, the eyes done, the ears done, the horns done, and the snout. But it's still all in flat pack form, so there's no point. I can show you one. No, that's not it. That's not it. But I will show you it as I build it. The only thing I would say about this kit is this is like a DK weight. This is for the claws and what's this? The horns. This is cotton. I don't mind crocheting with cotton. I really don't mind it. But this stuff is not nice to crochet with. It's incredibly splitty. But it was doable. It was absolutely doable. But if I made this again, I would just do that in DK acrylic. But the rest of it's this real chunky velvety yarn. But I'm going to talk about it as I put it together and enjoy building it. So that is for Danny. It's for when he gets his shelving put up. So that is that. So that was the first thing I did over the weekend. And you know, I was doing the Stitch Rovia sampler, which I am absolutely loving. I'm down to my last 3,000 stitches. It wasn't big to start with. I think it was only 7,000 stitches. So it really wasn't a big piece. And I'd been saying last week that I wanted something more meaty to really sort of get my teeth into. Jack, just wait a minute, darling. Danny, would you just let Jack out? He's clawing the window. So I thought, why not just have a second cross stitch on the go? Now, also bear in mind the amount of times I've said I will only have one cross stitch on the go. I'm not going to have more than one whip, possibly two at an absolute push, but that is my limit. That Smug Alex that was around, yeah, that one's gone. So I decided to have a second cross stitch on the go because I knew my Stitch Rovia one would be finished within the next week or two. So I thought my sale doesn't start until the 14th of October, which is the Historical Sampler Company sale, taking you through the thought process here. So I'll start a big cross stitch that I can be doing in between. So I started the Mickey Mouse Coffee cross stitch. I'm going to have to put a picture on the screen because I've only got a really small start. There's no point in showing you yet. So because I'd had all that floss sent, I was able to kit it up. I've had the pattern for quite a while, but it took quite a number of colours, and I didn't want to go out and buy all them colours in one go. But with all the floss that had been sent, I was able to completely kit it up, barring about 4 colours. So that's what I'd gone to boys for, the rest of the colours that I needed. So started this Mickey Mouse cross stitch. And I'm like, oh, I'm set. I've got my crochet. I've got my cross stitch. I'm all good for a lovely crafty weekend. And I do watch a lot of Floss Tube as well as the knitting podcast and the crochet podcast. I watch them all. I barely watch normal TV. I'll have binge watches of things on TV, but I just tend to watch YouTube more than anything. So I'm working away on Mickey Mouse. And, you know, watching Floss Tube, having a fab old time, and somebody mentioned Sampler September. Well, you know that when I got them kits sent last week, I really wanted to start this one. Well, one of the Floss Tubers mentioned, it was, by this point it must have been Sunday, one of the Floss Tubers mentioned it was Sampler September, and there's a whole thing where in September you start a sampler. And I was thinking, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. Carry on with my Mickey Mouse. And then I carried on a little bit longer and just thought, if I'm going to start a sampler, I may as well start during Sampler September. No, I'm not going to do that. I've already got 2 on the go. It took me about 10 minutes to talk myself into it. I already had the Ada, I already had the floss, and I was just like, oh, Alex, you know you're going to, whether you do it today, tonight, or tomorrow, you know you're going to start it. So I did. 3 cross stitches now on the go. But I have got to tell you, I am completely a sampler stitcher. That is where my love is. I haven't put it down. I started it Sunday and that's been it. So I will show you it. This is what I've got so far. And I adore it. Absolutely adore it. So this is a massive piece of Ada. I need to get one of those proper frames. I can't keep using these little hoops, but at the moment it's working fine, so I'm just going to stick with it. Anyway, turns out Modern Folk Embroidery, see, I didn't know this, do these stitch alongs every year. So this was the 2020 stitch along. They do this every year, right? So I went onto their website this morning and I was having a little look around, and you should see the 2024 one. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Honestly, I think it's called A Stitch in Time. I'll have to pop a picture on the screen. Now, this Sal's finished, I think, now. No, it's in 10 parts, so it must finish in October. So they come out each month. And there's a new one starting in January. But I love this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the Stitch in Time in January. Because it is beautiful. Now, back to this one. You put all your initials. You can't really see it on the screen, but there's lots of places for your family initials. So I need to work out how I'm going to do that. I don't know what I'm going to put in. Some people have been on the hashtag have put like little hearts and things in the place. I do want to get some initials on there. So I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but yeah, I just love it. I absolutely love it so much. As I'm stitching it, I'm just like, oh, I'm in love with this. So, yeah, that's what I've done this weekend. I have been so bad. Honestly, you should not have left me unattended. I did go to Cross Stitch Club as well. That was on Saturday, which was lovely, absolutely lovely. And yeah, we had a great old weekend. We really did. It's been fab. This morning, it's 9:25 in the morning now. We've got the orders to start. We had the shop update last night. So thank you very much for those of you that came to the shop update. We are going to start packaging the orders in a minute. And then we're going to go get them off in the post. They will go out this morning. So that's plan number 1 for today. Second plan is the sock pattern. Completely forgot about it. I said on the vlog it'd be ready on Friday. It didn't dawn on me till last night that I have done nothing with the sock pattern. So the DK weight sock pattern, I am going to get that onto the website later on today. Fingers crossed. Completely forgot. I've got memory like a fish. If I don't write something down, I won't remember. So I need to do that. And yeah, so I'm going to go and get on with some work, not pick up the cross stitch, because otherwise none of you will be getting your orders. I'll be sitting here stitching. Right, I'll be back in a little bit.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain. take away your sorrow, and the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new day to leave behind your troubles. There's a new day, and it will set you free. There's a new day to get you through your struggles. I will always think of you and me. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise.
Just going to the post office now. We came over the Moor Road. The fog. Danny's tried to vlog it. I don't know if it will show. It was so foggy, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it when it's like that up there. So we're just off to the post office. It's just down here. We've already had 2 people nearly crash into us. And you know it comes in threes. One was on the Moor Road. She was driving really close, I think because she couldn't see, so she was sticking to my tail lights. But she was super close to me. Then when I braked, she almost went into us. And then the other one, we had to park in Tesco's, and I was at the zebra crossing and this car just started reversing out of a spot. We were parked right there. She nearly went into us as well.
Great logic, this.
Right, we're nearly there. So we're gonna go post parcels. Exciting. Very exciting. It is still Monday, but it's 20 to 7. And I am just sitting and doing some of my Stitch Rovia cross stitch. Isn't it looking nice? I've done now I've done everything. I am up to, that's where I am now, and I've just got this section to do, and then it is done. I am so pleased with this. So I thought I'd come on and have a chat while I do a little bit of cross stitching. I'm watching a floss tube. I am currently watching Busy Mom Stitcher. I haven't got used to all the floss tubers' names yet, so I can't tell you what her name is, but she's very good. She does a lot of 14 count Ada and 16 count Ada, and she does a lot of full coverage as well, which is amazing. I love to look at the full coverage ones. But yeah, I'm so bad with names. I really am. It takes me ages to get people's names right, and even then I'd probably get it wrong. When I go to knit group, most of the ladies at knit group are called Sue, so it's really good because I can't really mess up the name. And the ladies that aren't called Sue, it's taken me a while to learn the names because I'm so bad with names. I don't do it intentionally, I'm just that bad with names. I really am. Let me just move that down. I am using my Markup RXP. This has been, I know I've talked about it before, but it has been an absolute game changer for me and cross stitch. I could not cross stitch without it. It is the best app ever. So when you put You can do photos and things into it, but they don't turn out as well. But when you put charts into it, I'm just going to show you a tiny section of this chart. I'm super zoomed in, so I'm not giving anything away, but you'll see what I mean when I flip it around. You can see it has highlighted. You can see the yellow around the square. They're the stitches that I've still got to do, and when I mark them off, they'll go solid like the other ones, so it makes it so easy. What's that on there? It really does. That has just been such a game changer. It's, if you remember when I first started cross stitching, I started with that sheep, and it took me well over a year to finish it, and it was a real slog, and I'd made mistake after mistake in it. Oh, I've gone wrong there. Let me just backtrack, because I was trying to read from a paper chart and I can't do it. So this for me has just been such a good thing to use. There's Markup RXP and there's Pattern Keeper. Pattern Keeper you pay a one-off price for. I think it might be $7.99 and that's it. You've paid for it, but it's Android only. And my phone's Android, but the problem with my phone, especially when I'm vlogging, my phone is constantly flat. So I found it difficult to use, and I couldn't work it quite. I'm sorry if you hear the kids screaming outside. I think they're having a water fight or something. Anyway, I couldn't use it as well. So I got a free trial of Markup RXP, which is more expensive. It's about £15 a year, but I found it so much easier. I really did. So I just use that now. It's brilliant. So that is all I am doing this evening. I'm sitting and watching some floss tube, and I'm doing some cross stitch. I've really enjoyed this one. This one, like I say, is the Stitch Rovia one. She's got a book out called Cross Stitch for the Soul. It's actually on Kindle Unlimited. I do have it on my Kindle, which is really, really good. And I've seen quite a few people do the Stitch Rovia. She's got an Etsy store as well. But this one, it's all in one colour. I'm using DMC 991, which is like a really nice green. It's a really nice green, and I've just loved every second of it. I really have. I'm gonna have to move the hoop in a second, so I'll show you it in 1 second, because I do need to move the hoop. But yeah, it's been lovely to do. Hang on a second, let's do this last 2 stitches. I did wonder if I'd get really bored of doing just one colour. I haven't done at all. Not at all. Right, I'll show you it because I'm about to move the hoop. Are we ready? Sounds like them kids are having fun outside, doesn't it? I did say to you earlier, it's not a massive one, but it is lovely. You'll have to excuse all the hoop marks. It'll need an iron. Hoops! Goodness. Right, sit yourself down. Isn't it lovely? This here. Oh, me and Danny and the dog. Isn't it gorgeous? I just loved it. As soon as I saw it, I loved it. I've really got the centering wrong. That is the edge of the piece there. So I really could have brought it over a little bit more, but I've got plenty of edging on it. It's fine. But yeah, isn't it gorgeous? I've really enjoyed doing this. I really have. You just move that down a little bit. My little unicorn. That came with the cross stitch charts that I got sent last week. That was in there. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So I put it on my cross stitch straight away because I really like it. It's a little unicorn. It's gorgeous. So I'll move that down a little bit more. I need to come right down now. I'm looking forward to starting on the words. It says, it is the sweet, simple things of life which are the real ones after all. And that is so true. It really is. This is so hard to do with you underneath me, dog. She won't move. At all. She's still sat there. Right. I need to go for a shower as well. What time is it? 10 to 7. I'll go get a shower in a minute. Make myself a brew. Oh, I've got a bottle of water there. I might just have that. Let me just tighten this up a little bit because it's a bit baggy. These are them hoops I got from Boys. They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. They really are. Something going on out there. I think they're having a water fight. Kids go back to school this week, don't they? Put my little clips back on this and then I shall let you go and get on with your evening. I hope you've all had a nice day. I've had a lovely day today. I thought I'd knocked my needle off then, I hadn't. Put that on there. And that on there. Roll this side up. Dog's still sat there, she won't move. Oh, it's just, do you know what? I'm so pleased it's September. I really am. I really, honestly am. It's just, it's still been warm today, but not as muggy as it has been. And it's just my favourite time of the year. It really is. I've got my Halloween socks on today. Let's see if I can show you. Got my Halloween socks on, and I don't know, I'm just, because September's here, I'm just like, oh, it's my favourite time of the year. I was going to watch Hocus Pocus and then Hocus Pocus 2 earlier, and I thought, no, I might save them for the weekend and watch them at the weekend, and yeah, it's just fab. Right, I'm going to go, let you all enjoy your evening. I'll be back in the morning. Have a nice night. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday morning. It is 25 to 10 in the morning. And I'm just waiting for Danny. He's busy taking pictures. I think he's planning.
There's some lovely yarn still left. They need a new home. No
He's planning a guilt trip is what he's doing.
No one wants them, so it's time to show
If
them.
Girl Racer doesn't sell, I'm all for that because I'm past my Girl Racer. Oh, I love this one. I can't reach the dogs on my knee as usual. If this doesn't sell, it would not be a bad thing because I would love to make a muscle bra with this. In fact, no. Would I make a muscle bra or would I make... This is the Rocket Tee. And I made this t-shirt years ago. I'll just show you that again and then I will... It's called Girl Racer. Give it back to Danny. I made this t-shirt years ago and when I made it, I was quite a bit bigger than I am now. And I wasn't a huge... I was just sort of getting into knitting and learning it and I didn't do a gauge swatch and I didn't realise that I was supposed to add the positive ease that I wanted onto the measurements. So I just chose my size. I might have done a gauge swatch, I can't remember, but I just chose my size without adding the positive ease. So it came out exactly, in fact it was probably a little bit smaller because I hadn't gauge swatched. the size with no positive ease, so I could get it on, but that was about it. I first knit it and I blocked it, and I really vigorously blocked it because I knew it was small. It fit, but once it had been washed, I was not blocking it every time. But now I'm smaller, it fits like a dream. And I've worn this past month so many times. I'm kind of fancying another. I just did this in 2 skeins of yarn that I'd got for Christmas. My son bought me some yarn for Christmas. I can't remember where it came from. Possibly Attic Spin Dye, because usually when people want to buy me yarn, I normally send them to Attic Spin Dye or Diane at Yew Tree Yarncraft. One of the two. I love both of them. And yeah, it bought me, in fact, was it come from there? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can't remember, it's so long ago, but I do love this top now, and it was just in 2 100-gram skeins of yarn. And I was thinking this morning it would be nice to have another one of these because it's so comfortable. I have got enough stash in this cupboard here to find 2 skeins of yarn that go beautifully together. I really have. I don't need to steal from the shop. But if Girl Racer doesn't sell, it would not be a bad thing. Honestly, that's all I'm saying. But my knitting mojo is not quite arrived back yet. It's coming. I can feel it coming, but I'm not going to start any knitting. I'm not going to pick any knitting up until I really want to, because if I pick something up now before the mojo has come back properly, then all that's going to happen is I'm going to lose it again. So I'm going to wait. I am not touching knitting until I desperately want to knit. And it won't take long. I have been here so many times with knitting mojo or crochet mojo. I think the longest time I've gone without crocheting is about 6 months. That's never happened with knitting, because, tangent here, with crochet I tend to just make toys or blankets, and that's about it. Whereas with knitting I make everything else. And the problem, like with knitting, I've always had a pair of socks on the go, but honestly, in all honesty, I do not need any socks, and neither does Danny. So it's pointless. I kind of cast on a pair of socks now and I think, what's the point? I've got far too many. I don't need any more socks. So that sort of didn't help my knitting mojo because I wasn't working on socks, and that kind of keeps things ticking over. But saying that about crochet, I'm really wanting to get into crochet with the hand-dyed yarn. You don't see a lot of patterns for it, for crochet. There's just not enough about. And I kind of feel like I want to change that. Crochet was my first love before knitting. I could knit when I started the podcast was it 4 years ago? It'd be 5 years in, no, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years in January. I could knit when I started the podcast, but I wasn't I wasn't even a confident beginner. I could knit and purl, I could cast on, I could cast off, but that was about my limit. I couldn't, plan a project. I couldn't look at yarn and think, right, that'll do really well with that. I couldn't do any of that. I didn't know what a gauge swatch was. I was really a newbie. And that was part of the reason that I started the podcast, was to follow my journey into learning how to knit. But as I, advanced with the knitting, the crochet really came back. And I just want to really showcase crochet with hand-dyed yarn and the beautiful things that you can make, because I don't think there's enough of it. There are some amazing crochet designers that do showcase hand-dyed yarn. But I do want to show some more. So that's sort of like the things that are going through my head at the moment. I need to go out shortly. I need to go to Sports Direct. Finn just needs a couple of little bits and pieces clothes-wise. So I need to go do that. We are going out for a family meal tonight, which I am really, really looking forward to. I'm not sure how much of it I'll be able to vlog, if any, because some members of the family do not want to be on the vlog, but I may get some driving over there. We're going to Skipton, so yeah, that's going to be really nice. I'm looking forward to that. We're not going to, well, the meal's booked for 7:15, so probably leave here just after 6, I think, and head on over for a nice meal out, which will be really nice tonight. So plans for today are not a great deal. I must get that sock pattern done. I'm planning on doing it when all I need to do at this point is upload it to the website. Everything else is done for it. I just need to upload it. I just haven't got around to it. I'll do that when I come back this morning. Got some washing on. I'm hoping we're gonna have a rain-free day today because I've got a massive pile of washing. The wash basket in the kitchen is full. I'm sure the teenagers have got a week's worth of washing in their room, which will need to come down, and I want to try and get as much of my washing cleared off because it's September and the cooler weather's going to come, she says, hoping. Yeah, so that's about it for the plans today. There's not a great deal to do. I don't know what Danny's done, but the yarn that he's got out to take pictures of looks really, really nice. Right, so I'm going to get off and start the day. She's got a new toy. And she's whacking me with it. What have you got, Rubes? It's a giant frog with long legs. She loves it when you get her a new toy. She really does. I'm surprised. She's had it about 15 minutes and she's not broken the squeaker yet. But I do keep getting whacked with it. We are in Otley, going to the post office.
Ooh. Some people will be buying the brothers and sisters, haven't they?
We're going to go post some yarn. I don't know how noisy it is here. I might not be able to use this clip. Straight over, straight over, straight over. Run, 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 run. Danny's just walking casually behind, look.
It breaks. Please.
So we're at Otley Post Office today. I don't know where we're going after this. We usually go to Morrison's, but that's all the way in Guiseley. But Sainsbury's is expensive. Otley just has Sainsbury's and Waitrose. But we'll decide in a minute. Right, so parcels going off into the post. It is about 9:15 in the morning, something like that. Yeah, it's only early. We're up and about early this morning. This is the post office here. Big building. Good morning, everybody. We are home now, all home. The orders that needed to be shipped have been shipped today, so they should be arriving hopefully tomorrow. They go first class. And yeah, do you know what? We've got a random day off, which is good today. So everything's done already. So we're gonna have a sneaky day off today, which is very, very exciting. Somebody was asking in the Facebook group for me to show my cross stitch setup. First of all, because this has been playing on my mind a little bit, so I'm going to mention it. I feel really bad that I've not really been knitting and crocheting a lot this past couple of weeks. It's because I'm down the cross stitch rabbit hole. And I'm thinking, I know my knitting mojo's gone out of the window, but I'm like, I'm not showing enough crochet. Then I kind of thought, well, it's a vlog, so it's what I'm working on. So apologies if I've not been showing it a great deal of crochet. It will obviously come back tenfold. It's just at the moment I'm just down this cross stitch rabbit hole and just really enjoying it. Anyway, I don't really have a cross stitch setup. I've just sort of sit where I am now. I've got my cross stitch that I'm working on here. This is the modern, is it Modern Folk Embroidery? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Modern Folk Embroidery Cross Stitch. This is the one that I'm doing. And all I do is I just sit here. I've got my thread. I'm actually using one of these for this. This is 18 count Aida that I'm working on. Now, you know I've tried 18 count before. And I did it with 2 strands and really didn't like it. Somebody told me in the comment, try using 1 strand. I did with this and it was just a bit thin. This stuff is a number 12. It's DMC 310, but it's a number 12. So I did a lot of Googling. Luckily, YouTube comes in handy because people will always explain about all these different types of threads. So it turns out these come in different numbers. This is a 12, and I think it goes right down to a 3. The higher the number, the thicker the cotton. So a number 12 is equivalent to between 1 and 2 strands of DMC. So it's in between 1 and 2 strands, and for the 18 count, it is perfect, absolutely perfect. So that is what I'm using for this. These are £3 in Hobbycraft, and you can barely tell I've used any. So that's what I'm using. If any of you are going to tell me this is seriously wrong, then I don't know, but that's what I'm using and it's working fine. I did, like I say, I did Google it a lot and see if you could use them. You can use them for cross stitch and embroidery. And I came across a really good YouTube video, and I really can't remember. It's not one of my regular ones that I watch, but she went into great detail with the DMC flosses, what 1 strand does, what 2 strand does, the different types of Aida, and then she went into all the different thicknesses of these. I'll show you it properly. And it was really, really interesting. I had already bought it, I will say, when I decided to look into it. I'd just seen it in Hobbycraft and thought, ooh, what's that? And I did see the other sizes, but this was the thinnest one, so I went for this. The problem with it is I love now a loop start, and you can't do a loop start because I only need 1 strand. But other than that, it's fine. I'm just not been able to do my looped start, which keeps the back a lot neater. But anyway, this is the Modern Folk Embroidery one, and I am so enjoying it. I really am. It's all black. I'll pop a picture on the screen of the finished piece. It is quite a large piece. Now, I have made a mistake on this. I've only left myself just under 2 inches of border. So it's going to be a little bit tight when it comes to framing it, but completely doable, I think. I'm not going to pull it back and start again. I wasn't sure the Aida would be big enough, so I went slightly narrower on the border, but it's fine. This has 12 pages of pattern, so this is page 1. So somebody was asking how I cross stitch so fast, and I don't think that I do. I really don't think that I do. But what I will say is, because I use Markup RXP, it makes a huge difference in your cross stitching. When I did that sheep up there, I never had an app, and I just followed the paper pattern, and it took me a year to complete it. But when you've got the app, if I can just try and show you, it gives you a lot of information. So the piece that I'm working on now, this is the information that it's got. And you can see that I've been stitching for 22 minutes today, and I've done 76 stitches. I can do, if I'm not, you know, flicking on Facebook and one thing and another, in about an hour to an hour and a half, depends how many distractions I have, I can do 200 stitches. So I always stitch on a morning when I get up. While I'm sitting having my morning coffee, I'll stick a YouTube on and I'll sit and do some stitching. So I can always usually get 200 stitches done on a morning because I get up early before I've even got dressed, and then I tend to pick it up later on when we've finished work. So around tea time, so I'll maybe do 100 stitches just before I start tea, and then another couple of 100 stitches, 100 to a couple of 100 stitches in the evening. If I get any more time, I can be knitting or crocheting, but I don't tend to have a great deal of time during the day, so it's a morning and an evening. So if I'm only cross stitching, I can quite easily do 500 stitches. And it's not that I'm trying to do it quickly or anything like that. It's just because when you've got the app, you can see what you've done. So this morning was, let me just pop that down, was a little bit different because we were busy this morning and trying to get out. But I would never have left it on 76. My OCD would have had me take that to 100 and just rounded it up. But it when you see what you're doing, it's really easy to do more because you think, I've done 76, I'll just do 100, and then it's a nice round number, so you tend to do more. Each of these pages are around 3,000, give or take a few hundred, around 3,000 stitches. I think there's about 33,000, 36,000 stitches. And I don't know if you can see this, it gives you an estimated completion date, which on there I think is the 19th of November, which is why when I say to you, oh, it's not going to take me long, based on your average stitch count. If I turn it around again, sorry, you can see my average stitch count on there is 479 a day, which is kind of what I average, which is what I was just saying. I do it on the morning when I get up, and then sort of around tea time onwards. On a weekend, if I'm just spending the weekend crafting, I can do a lot more. But so it's not that I do it quickly, I just think it's the blocks of time that I do it. So somebody was asking me about that in the Facebook group. I do have 3 on the go now, which is utterly ridiculous for me. I do not need, I can only work on 1 cross stitch at a time, so what's the point in having 3 on the go? I don't mind what I stitch, I just like to cross stitch. I'm not even very good at framing. I've got now 2 sat waiting to be framed, plus my Stitch Rovia one has only got 3,000 stitches left, so that's going to be sat waiting to be framed. I just like to stitch, so to me it doesn't matter what I stitch on. Although saying that, with this modern folk embroidery one, I just love it when it comes to just seeing all these. That I loved doing that, absolutely loved it. And when you're seeing all the little things just appear, I'm just in absolute awe of it. I really am. I did have to get a bigger frame for this one though. It's a huge piece of fabric. You can see on the back how much is folded up. I've got little clips everywhere. The fabric is 36 inches by 26, I think, so it's pretty big. But all I do is I just sit with it on my knee. I've got my knee underneath like that, and I just stitch away. And yeah, that's all I do. So there's no particular cross stitch setup. When I'm doing a bigger piece, I have, this is a box that my friend sent me, and so like my Mickey, all my Mickey Mouse floss is in here for the Mickey Mouse one that I'm doing. So I take all the floss out of the big boxes and put them into just 1 smaller boxes of the only ones that I need. And that is them. So yeah, that's all I do. There's no particular setup or anything. It's just that. But I am really enjoying it. So I'm going to sit and do some stitching today. I can't decide whether to put any washing out. According to the weather app, it's going to be 16 degrees. But that looks like it's going to rain. I got loads of washing done yesterday, so I don't actually have a great deal to do. But I could do these blankets on the sofa, could do with... I tend to wash these blankets once a week. We have blankets over the sofa because all the animals are constantly on the sofa. And I do wash them once a week, but I don't think today's the day. Tomorrow's a better day to do them, so I'll do them tomorrow. I don't know why you needed to know when I washed the blankets on the sofa. I really don't. Yeah, I didn't get any footage of the meal last night. I do apologise. There was on the bypass on the way to Skipton, they'd closed one of the lanes, so there was just 2 single lanes and just cones all the way up the middle. I didn't get any of that footage because obviously that was boring to see. On the way back it was so dark, so I couldn't film anything. But we did have a really nice meal. It was lovely. It was really lovely. We didn't leave the pub until about 9, so we got home about 9:30. But got to tell you this, we got in about 9:30 and we walked into the kitchen and Danny just went, "Don't look, Alex." And I went, "What?" And I'm stood in the middle of the kitchen floor going, "What?" And he was looking up and I looked onto the wall and honestly, I kid you not, the biggest, it was like this. I did take a picture, but you can't tell the size of this spider from the picture, but it was like that. Danny had to go in the cupboard to find the biggest glass that we had, which was like a big pint glass thing, and the spider only just fit in the glass. It was that big. It did take, we never harm spiders or anything. Even though I'm terrified of spiders, Danny's not. Even if I came across a spider and I was on my own, I wouldn't harm it. I absolutely wouldn't harm it. I would just leave the room and not go in there until Danny came back to move the spiders. So he just puts them in the garden. But it was massive. And he had to kind of like jiggle the glass a little bit to get it to move off the wall. And you could hear it. It was like knocking on the glass, like, "Oi, let me out." It was massive. Absolutely massive. Oh dear, I have done some of my crochet dragon. I'm not going to show you it yet because it's not stitched together yet. So you're just going to be seeing body parts. So there's no point in me showing you it yet, but I'm hoping to get it done this week so I can show it on the vlog when it's finished. But it is coming on. I've just got the legs and the body and the wings, the head, the ears, the horns, the eyes, the snout and the arms are all done. I just need to do the legs and the body, which I will get on with doing. But first of all, I'm going to sit and do some stitching. I'm going to watch some FlossTube. I do watch a lot of FlossTube now. I watch all my knitting podcasts, all my crochet podcasts, and all my FlossTube. So I barely watch normal TV. It's so bad. Well, it's not bad. It's what I enjoy watching. So what does it matter? I've got my comfies on. I've got a sweatshirt and leggings on and knitted socks. So I'm completely comfy. And I'm just going to have a chilled out day today. Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, the 5th of August. August? Goodness me, where am I? September, I think. I think it's the 5th. And it is 10 o'clock in the morning. I was up really late this morning, which is not like me at all, but I was so tired yesterday. I didn't come back on the vlog because I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was so tired. So I just relaxed on the sofa and did nothing. Yeah, I was absolutely exhausted, so I didn't get up while 8:30 this morning, which is really not like me. But anyway, we're going out this morning, and then I have a knit group this afternoon. But knit group, the library's closed this week because they're putting a new heating system in. So it's at somebody's house, and I don't quite know where I'm going, but I'll find it. It'll be fine. I'll meet one of the other ladies beforehand if I need to do. I wanted to come on right this morning and tell you my genius invention. I was so proud of myself. Do you remember me showing my cross stitch yesterday, this one? Oops. I started this off with a hoop, but there's so much fabric, it was really, really difficult to do it on a hoop. And with it being such a big piece, I didn't want the hoop marks on it. So Danny bought me a larger Q-snap frame, which is fantastic and I love it. But from time to time, it really starts to hurt my thumb from holding it. I know if I got a grime guard, it would be easier, but I have had no luck with grime guards, so I've given up buying them. Every time I get them, they're just not right. Anyway, so I was thinking, I need something to hold this. Wouldn't that be easier? Do you know, when you start a new hobby, there are so many things that you can buy. You'd have to have all the money in the world to buy everything that you know, that comes in handy. And I didn't realise that I did with cross stitch, but with knitting, I've sort of bought things over the past few years, and there's nothing really expensive apart from my thankyou needles, which were a present for my 40th birthday. There's been nothing majorly expensive with cross stitch. I feel like it's a different kettle of fish. The hoops that I've been buying are really cheap in boys. They're like 99p and £1.99. That's no bother. But this frame was £15. And then, you know, needles, again, aren't the cheapest. The DMC isn't the cheapest. I know you can get CXC threads, but I want DMC, so... And the list just goes on. So I was looking last night, and it turns out you can get these here Lowry frames. And I thought, I'd heard of them and thought they were just some kind of cross-stitch frame. It's not, it's a stand. They are fantastic, do not get me wrong. They are fantastic. But again, you know, 80 quid for something that just holds your frame. So you can get ones with a corner clamp, which are for Q-snaps, and a different one, I don't know what they're called, standard clamp, which are for frames. And they are very good, but £80, I was like, this is ridiculous. I just want something to hold my frames. And then I start looking at different hoops. You can get hoops which have got a base attached, so it raises it up a little bit. Again, you're talking 30 quid. 15, 20, 30 quid. Then I was looking at, what else was it? There was something else. A Nurge lap stand. So it's like a frame, but it's got like a bracket on the bottom, so it sits on your knee. 80 quid. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I'm like, I'm not buying another frame. When Danny's bought me this one, it's perfect. It's the right size. I just can't hold it for more than 20 minutes. So I got to thinking yesterday, this is my genius part. I got to thinking yesterday, I just need something that's going to clamp. I have enough tripods for vlogging. Now I have this one, which I use for tutorials because it clamps onto the table and it's really good for tutorials. But I thought, I've got the clamp on the bottom. So I had a little play last night, and let me tell you, I was so stinking proud of myself. It clamps nicely on the corner of the frame, she says, like this. So it's holding it now perfectly. Then all I've got to do is extend the base, lean it against my knitting box, and look. Oops. It's now clamped perfectly, no hands, on my knee. Hang on. Oh, don't drop. On my knee. So I can stitch, it's not resting on my knee, so I can get to the behind of it. And it's just my tripod. I was like, I am a genius. I am an absolute genius. I was so stinking proud of myself. So then last night, when I was super, super exhausted, I decided I would try it out and do a little bit of stitching. Let me just push that down now, because I don't want to take it back off now. And I did some here. Stitched about, I don't know, 100 stitches or something. I was so tired, I did it all wrong. So this morning I have had to frog it. But I was like, this is why you don't stitch when you're tired. Let's move you back in a little bit. But anyway, it's back to where it needs to be now. So this is where I am up to now. And it's only got 600 stitches left, and that's the end of the first page. So I really like it. Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. What was I going to say? Yeah, I am going to get another one of these. I'm going to get one to do next year and have one for a New Year's Day start. But it's not going to be the new sal that Modern Folk Embroidery are bringing out. It's going to be the 2024 sal. And I'm going to do it in all the parts. So I'm going to start it on New Year's Day. It's the Stitch... No Time Like the Present, it's called. And I'm going to start it on New Year's Day, and I'm going to do each page, one page a month throughout the year. That's how I'm going to do it, because I just absolutely love that one. So I'm going to ask Santa for the fabric for that for Christmas. And I'll probably do it on, I think I'll do it on 16 count Aida, because it's not just one colour, so I can't use one of these. I'm going to have to use the DMC floss, and I don't like, I could do 18 count with one strand, but I'm going to do it on 16 count, I think. But yeah, so that was my little genius moment. I was so stinking proud of myself. I've got some yarn out. This is King Curl Zigzag, and it is Mayfly. Where is that? There we are. Is that it? No. There. I haven't started anything yet. I really wanted to cast on a Musselburgh yesterday, but I've not started it yet. I thought, no, I am going to wait till I am desperate to cast on a Musselburgh, because I don't want my knitting mojo to just creep back and then disappear again. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer. There's no rush. I'm not going to stress out about it. But I can feel the urge. I can feel it coming back. So I'm so excited. But I am not going to stress about it. So yeah, that is that. I was going to get one of my skeins of yarn out of here. I've got a skein of yarn in there that I'm earmarking for some form of hat, but yeah, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait, because if I start knitting too soon, that mojo will disappear again. I've got to wait till I really want to cast something on, because I did it the other day. I cast on some socks, and all I've done is cast them on and I've left them, so I know what will happen. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer, and hopefully it will be back before I know it. We booked our Yarndale tickets last night as well, because I just completely forgot to book the tickets. Somebody had asked in the group who was going to Yarndale, and I was like, oh, I've got no tickets. So I did do that. So Danny and I are going on the Sunday. Our ticket gets us in between 10 and 10:30. So we'll be there at that time on the Sunday. So if you are going to Yarndale and you see us, please come and say hi. I'm going to try and park in Yarndale this year. I have never managed to park in Yarndale. I always park in, not the main car park in Skipton, but the one that's right at the bottom of the hill, and we've got to trek all the way up. I've never actually managed to park in Yarndale, but with us having the earlier tickets, I'm going to try. Fingers crossed, because it would be so much easier to park in Yarndale. It really would. So yeah, that is that. It's 10:10 now. I've been chatting for 11 minutes. So we need to nip out. we're going to go do that. And then, like I said, I've got knit group this afternoon. I need to, project am I going to take to knit group? Oh, goodness me, I could take my dragon. I might take my dragon. Yeah, I'll probably take my dragon. And right, I'll be back. My hair. Bye, I've just come on to tell you the most exciting news. Danny has requested something this morning. He's requested a design, and I am beyond excited about this. So I'm going to start it at some point over the next couple of days. What do you all think? Sorry, Badger, I've not got you in the shot. What do you all think about my Yarny Corner crochet bear pattern? Do you know what? I've not done a bear pattern for ages. Absolutely ages. And I am so excited about this. So, my Yarny Corner crochet bear pattern. Yeah? I'm so excited. Hello, everybody. I am back from knit group. I've had a fab time. And yeah, it's been great. We went to the lady that runs knit group. She hosted knit group this week at her house because the library is closed. The library's having, I think it's a new heating system. I'm sure that's what it is. So I think it's closed for a week. So we went to our friend's house and we just had a fab old time. Just a fab old time. All sorts of crafty goodness. She was showing this journal cover that she's going to be making. Oh, when I see that, I think I might have to see how she made it because it looks really, really nice. So we've done that and I'm home now. It is 4 o'clock. I've got a coffee. The dog is here. She does miss me while I'm out. If I'm out, she'll just sit on the stairs out there and wait for me. She doesn't chill out on the sofa or anything. So I always feel really bad if I leave her because she'll just sit on the stairs and wait for me. And as soon as she hears the car, she'll run behind the front door, bless her. She's my little love. She really is. Look at Luigi. Hang on. Oh. You see how he's got his paw resting on Jack while he's having a wash? How cute's that? So I'm going to be doing some stitching tonight. I think I'm going to start that Yarny Corner bear at the weekend. I don't know why I'm planning it at the weekend. I could start it tonight, but I'm not going to because I'm so close to this page finish on here. I've only got this bit to do and then take that across there and that's the first page finished. So I really, really want to get on with that. So I'm going to finish that tonight. And yeah, that's about everything I think for this week. I don't think... Hey up, Danny's coming. Yeah, what we planned... I've got Harry this weekend. So we've got Harry this weekend. No major plans really.
It's mainly just chill. The weather's good. We go out.
Yeah.
Park, so it's good.
He likes to go down to the exercise equipment at the park. He loves that skiing one, doesn't he? Once he's on it, you can't get him off it. And I, of course, like the swing thing, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Me, Harry gets the park, that's it.
I'm playing with the dog, by the way. Don't I?
So, yeah, I think that is about everything for the crafting vlog this weekend. Hopefully you've all found some kind of inspiration. I feel a little bit bad that it's only been about cross stitch, but it's just what I'm into this week. This week, last week, the week before.
The week before.
Never mind. It's a crafty vlog. It's fine. I feel bad. I feel really bad.
Get.
I'll show you this.
Ah! You're chewing my knuckle. Get off my knuckle. Ah!
Yeah,
Stop.
I feel bad if I don't show knitting or crochet. How weird's that? Although, who's doing the MCAL? Let's just mention the MCAL. I've got to cut Danny out.
Sorry,
We've got to talk about the MCAL. Is anybody doing it? Let me know how many of you are doing it. I don't think I'm going to do it this year. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it this year, but I will be watching and really enjoying seeing everybody's progress. I really will. I will be watching the clues each week. So I'm hoping lots of people in the Facebook group are going to be doing it so I can see all the pictures and one thing and another. Just one sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to be following along with everybody's progress, but I'm not taking part this year. It could well be. Many a times I've said I'm not doing it this year, then the day before I've been like, I'm doing it. So I may change my mind, but let me know in the comments if you are doing the MCAL this year. That's the Stephen West MCAL. Is it called? I think it's called Go Go Dynamo, and I think you need 2 colours, two skeins in each colour of 100 grams, and a mohair dare if you dare. Which it's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to have brioche, but I think I'm only saying that because Martin from Knit 365 says it every single year. So I think I've just jumped on the bandwagon of saying I think it's going to have brioche. But yeah, I don't think I'm doing it this year. But never say never. There's a lot of time between now and the 4th. I think it's out, the 4th of October. So never say never. I hope you've all enjoyed this crafty vlog. I'm going to end it here and I am going to get on with the mammoth editing process because I think it's quite a bit over an hour. I'll try and cut it down. I like it to be an hour, but yeah, I'll try and get it as close to the hour as I can. I think at the minute it's quite a lot of little clips here and there. But yeah, so have a lovely crafty week ahead, whatever it is that you're doing. Have a lovely time doing it and I will see you next week. Oh, and also, before I forget, if you want us to do Vlogtober, let me know in the comments. That will put a stop to the weekly vlogs and obviously we'll just vlog for vlog.
October?
No, I've said let me know if you want us to. If you want us to do Vlogtober, just leave me a comment and if there's a lot of people asking, then I'll do it. If not, I'll just carry on doing this. But yeah, just let us know.
And thank you very much for all the lovely comments.
Thank you for we've had
and
some
welcome
nice.
to the new subscribers. Remember, I'm Alex. This is Danny. I always got to put that in because it just makes me smile.
Do you know your cardigan got brought up at Knit Group today?
Do you know I still have it?
Your cardigan got brought up at Knit Group today.
What cardigan?
Honestly, everybody knows about Danny,
cardigan?
and I have got to say this, right? I made Danny a gorgeous sweater only in March.
Comes out in winter.
Yeah, but it's not like you've not had a big garment this year. You know...
We don't remember it, do we, lovely people? We don't remember it. We just want to see a cardigan, don't we, lovely people?
They asked me at Knit Group how your cardigan was coming on. I was like, really?
unless everyone wants to knit a square and I have it all...
No, but some people will knit you a square. But then I won't sew it together. I'm like, yeah.
I'm having that brown one. You showed me a picture. I thought that's what I was having.
Yeah, when I get round to it.
You feel like you're forced.
I haven't got round to it yet. Other stuff. You asked for a yarny corner bear.
No, that's what I want to offer to these lovely people. My yarny corner bear pattern. Yeah. We can.
I've already said.
Oh, right, so that's okay then, yeah. So my yarny corner bear pattern, it should get one of these. Who doesn't want that? It's going to be awesome.
Anyway, I am going to go. Have a lovely crafty week, everybody, and I will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.